Is wine a sustainable product? In this video, we will analyze sustainability of the wine industry and how we, as wine lovers, can contribute to sustainability of all over the world. Welcome again, wine lovers. Today, we will analyze 4 points. First point, where on earth wines come from. Second point, how wine production impacts on sustainability. Third point, what is a sustainable wine? And finally, the 8 keys for sustainable wines. As a consumer, I am very concerned about sustainability of the products I buy, and particularly the things I eat or drink. The same probably as you and many consumers all over the world. When it comes to wine lovers, we are even more concerned about sustainability because a wine lover is always a person that is very interested on the place wines come from. When we taste a wine, we are literally tasting the terroir, the climate, the history, the traditions, the culture of the place this wine comes from. I am very happy to share with you that while I was conducting my research for this video, I found that there are lots and lots of initiatives. Many wine producers have been working on sustainability already for lots of years. There are lots of initiatives, programs, and associations that make sure that the wines that reach to the market are every time more and more sustainable. The initiatives on sustainability are different from one country to another country, so it is very difficult to generalize, and I will use local examples to explain the key concepts. I would like to clarify at this point that this video is not sponsored. So all the ideas and concepts and information I bring you to this video are based on the literature I found, my own experience, my own opinions, and what I have read and found that I consider reliable. If you have further thoughts about wine sustainability, please leave your comments on this video so that we can share ideas with the wine lovers community. So let's jump into point number 1. Where on earth wines come from? I mentioned in a previous video that wines are obviously produced only on regions that have a Mediterranean weather. So where are the regions where Mediterranean weather is present and therefore wines can be produced? According to the International Organization of Vine and Wine, this is the map with the wine production in 2018. Some areas are new because due to climate change, there are some areas that used to be too cold to grow vines in them, but now they have a warmer climate which allows the culture of vines. And this is, for example, the UK. Years ago, they couldn't have vines, but now they are producing good wines. World wine production is estimated in 2020, 260 million hectoliters. The countries with the largest wine production in 2020 were number 1, Italy, number 2, France, number 3, Spain. And then we have also the USA, Argentina, Australia, South Africa, Chile, Germany, and China, number 10. The countries with the largest wine consumption in 2020 were number 1, the USA, number 2, France, number 3, Italy, number 4, Germany, number 5, the UK, and number 6, China. These 6 countries, they have more than 50% of the global consumption of wine. So now let's move into point number 2, how wine production impacts on sustainability. In general, wine production has a positive impact on sustainability of the regions where the wine is produced. To explain this point, I will use Priorat, which is around 150 kilometers in the south of Barcelona. I've chosen this region because I know it well and because it is a very good example to analyze sustainability. This is one example of a wine from Priorat. It's a wine I like very much. The region of Priorat has a very special terroir. It is a soil called Licorella, which is a kind of slate. It is difficult to grow any crop on such soil because fertility of the soil is really very low. On top of this, the weather in the region of Priorat is very rigorous, with a very warm summer, very low rainfall, and quite cold winters. The grapes growing in such difficult conditions, with the good care of the winemakers, produce spectacular terroir wines, where nature, vineyard management, and a good winemaking leave an unmistakable mark on Priorat wine. In this example, we can see the 5 very clear benefits that the wine industry brings to Priorat region. Number 1, a plant-based economy. The economy of the Priorat region is based on 3 main points. Number 1, wines. Number 2, olive oil. And number 3, tourism. The wines of Priorat are very good quality wines, so they can be sold at good prices in the international market, and therefore this region is not poor. The astonishing beauty of the landscapes of Priorat is attracting tourists to the region because they like to enjoy the landscapes. And this is also something that the wine industry brings to the region together. The kind of tourism that goes to visit the Priorat region is a high quality tourism. So it's not really massive tourism that goes destroy the region. It is instead wine lovers typically that enjoy the region and they are prepared to pay a fair price and they bring richness to the region. So let's go to point number 2. The wine industry supports local communities because the wine industry provides local people with fair salaries and fair working conditions. So this is part of the concept of sustainability because sustainability has also to do with supporting local communities. This way, the wine industry helps to preserve the local families and people can keep living in their own territories. This way, the wine industry supports local families, their traditions, their way of living, and their culture. And the younger people can stay with their parents and their grandparents. Number 3 is that the wine industry protects the terroir. The wine industry helps to preserve the terroir and avoid the desertification, which otherwise, without the vine cultivation, the land would become a desert. The intense sunshine with very low rainfall would eventually result on desertification of the area. The vine is not just the ideal crop for this region, but also it's the way to ensure a vegetable cover that protects the terroir from the extreme climate conditions. The point number 4 is that the wine industry effectively prevents forest fires. Why? The regions with Mediterranean weather are very sensitive to forest fires. The big fires in the Mediterranean areas have increased a lot in the recent years. This is also linked to climate change. And these big fires are liberating a lot of CO2 to the atmosphere, making it even worse, the phenomena of climate change. Therefore, it is very important to keep people living in these areas because the human activity effectively prevents, fights, and eventually minimizes the fire impact. Point number 5 is that the wine industry preserves biodiversity. Keeping traditional vineyards all over the world helps to preserve the biodiversity and therefore keeping most valuable biological resources. Okay, now let's explore what is a sustainable wine. There is not a global body or organization that guarantees sustainability of wine production globally. But there are organizations in different territories all over the world that are dedicated to making sure that wines are sustainable. The concept of sustainability refers to preserving the environment for future generations. Sustainability considers the health of the overall business, water preservation, energy consumption, and the well-being of employees. Every winery can practice sustainability on their processes, and most of them do. A special label is regulated in the European Union. It is the EcoCert. These wines are free of artificial pesticides, herbicides, or fertilizers. In the United States of America, the Certified California Sustainable label is one of the most widely recognized. Considerations include pest, waste, and water management, as well as employee rights. While we can find a lot of information about how wines are produced and sustainability on the webs of wine producers, the very best way to get information about this is to go there, to talk with winemakers, and to find out exactly what are the practices they are doing. Okay, so now we are prepared to go to the last point of this video, which is the 8 keys for sustainable wines. Point number 1 is minimizing CO2 emissions. This is the main point where wineries are focusing their efforts. Transportation of wine is responsible for the majority of CO2 emissions of the wine industry. In 2019, the International Wineries for Climate Action Association was founded. It brings together many wineries that have the common goal to decarbonize the wine industry. One of the most effective actions they have taken is to move to lighter weight glass wine bottles. And here we come to point number 2, which is more sustainable packaging. Alternative packaging systems are being explored to reduce the weight of wine transportation. Point number 3 on wine sustainability is reducing the energy of wine production. Some wineries are using solar paints, renewable energy, and also they are having energy efficient facilities. Point number 4 on wine sustainability is composting the organic waste. Some people argue that because of the wine fermentation, there is CO2 liberated into the atmosphere. And this is true because the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, when they transform glucose into alcohol, they liberate CO2 to the atmosphere. However, we need to take into account that this CO2 was previously fixed from the air to the organic materials by the vines. So this CO2 that is liberated to the atmosphere is largely compensated by a lot of organic material that is actually CO2 that vines have fixed from the atmosphere into organic matter. It is important to have this concept very clear because the point that wine fermentation liberates CO2 to the atmosphere is not exactly fair. Eventually what we have is organic waste, and the key point is how this organic waste is managed by the wineries. Okay, so point number 5 is about reducing pesticide use. It is true that in the past, a long time ago, in the 80s and in the 70s and in the 60s, pesticides were used without any control, not only in the wine industry, but in all agricultural industries. Today, the use of pesticides is very well regulated by the wine industry, and pesticides are used to the absolute minimum amount and only during certain periods of time, and it's very well regulated. Point number 6 is about water conservation. Many wine producing areas have water scarcity. Vines are watered in a very precise manner so that every water drop is really very well used. Watering vineyards is in the majority of cases very well regulated, and the plants are watered in a very precise manner, often with a drop-by-drop system, so that every single drop of water is very optimized. Water is typically used just to make sure that the plant survives when the rainfall is too low. And as wine lovers, we know that the plants with the absolute minimum amount of water are making the most precious wines. The seventh key for wine sustainability is respecting employee rights. It's a way to ensure that the employees stay and they keep the know-how of the wineries. As wine lovers, we like to support the lives of people that work in the wine industry, the people that dedicate their lives to produce wines that we can enjoy later on. And this is kind of a dialogue between the wine producers and the wine lovers, in which we play the role of appreciating what they are producing and enjoying the work they do. The good news is that most winemakers are small or medium-sized companies. Most of them are family businesses, and they respect very much employee rights. So health, safety, and a fair salary is key for wine sustainability too. Okay, so the key number 8 for wine sustainability is having a positive impact to the surrounding land. The winemaking industry, when it comes to sustainability, needs to ensure also that it has a positive impact to the surrounding land. So it preserves the biodiversity of the surrounding land. It prevents the fires, as we mentioned before. It helps that people stay in the villages surrounding the vineyards. And there is balance and harmony between the natural environment and the human environment, because winemaking is a human activity. So I hope this video helps everyone to choose the most sustainable wines, so that as wine lovers, we can enjoy wines even more, knowing that wine consumption is actually helping to promote sustainability of our lovely planet. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video, and I wish you a great wine time.